Sektor energi merupakan salah satu ambisi besar yang dibahas oleh Indonesia dengan negara-negara Eropa, terutama negara Eropa yang tergabung dalam negara anggota G20, salah satunya Jerman. Indonesia dan Jerman saat ini sedang menjalani Green Infrastructure Initiative atau Prakarsa Infrastruktur Hijau senilai 2,5 miliar euro atau setara dengan 37 triliun rupiah. Untuk mengetahui lebih lengkap mengenai Green Infrastructure Initiative, kita simak wawancara produser lapangan CNN Indonesia, Vina Nabilah, dengan Duta Besar Jerman untuk Indonesia, Ina Level.
Selamat pagi. Pada Juni 2002 silam, Presiden Jerman Frank-Walter Steinmeier bertemu dengan Presiden Republik Indonesia Joko Widodo melangsungkan pertemuan kenegaraan, dan sektor energi menjadi salah satu ambisius terbesar antara kedua negara. Lalu sebenarnya bagaimana Jerman melihat potensi sektor energi di Indonesia dan bagaimana kedua negara dalam memahami pemulihan ekonomi di G20? Kita akan membahasnya dengan Duta Besar Jerman untuk Indonesia, Excellency Ina Level. Guten Morgen, Ambassador.
Guten Morgen.
Terima kasih thank you for making time with us in the middle of your busy schedule.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, Ambassador. So let's start about the latest meeting with our two presidents. They are highlighting about the energy sector, right? And one of the biggest ambitious between both countries is energy sector. So how does Germany perceive about the potential of energy sector in Indonesia, Ambassador?
Yeah, we think there is a lot of potential and a lot of need. Climate change is a big priority for the German government, and especially this summer we are really feeling already the effects of climate change in Germany, in Europe, with all the fires, with the incredible drought we are facing. And we also realize that energy is one of the key factors for emissions. That's why in Germany we are pushing very much for our energy transition. And we also see a lot of potential for cooperation with Indonesia.
So, Ambassador, when we talk about energy sector, one of the most ambitious projects, as I mentioned before, is about Green Infrastructure Initiative, the project with 2.5 billion euros, 5 years project. So, would you mind to tell us more about the progress today about the Green Infrastructure Initiative and the example that really close with people's life in Indonesia about the project, Ambassador?
With great pleasure. The green infrastructure aims at looking at cities, big cities, and to make them green, sustainable and resilient. And that's why they focus on public transport, on circular economy, waste and wastewater management, and water management in general. Because these are the issues, as you said, that concern the livelihood of people in these cities who really suffer and face hassle when these things are not managed well. We do want to do this project as Indonesia-German Green Infrastructure project, which is why there is a lot of coordination going on. Both sides have to agree on the projects that are finally picked. So there's a selection procedure, and that's going on at the moment. There have been pre-feasibility studies that have identified 15 projects in the 4 pilot provinces, all the 3 provinces in Java and Bali. So those will be examined further to see if they can really be implemented.
So, Ambassador, when we talk about a green infrastructure initiative, also we are struggling. We are trying to recover the economy, right, under the COVID-19. So this year, Indonesia is hosting the G20 presidency. By the theme "Recover Together, Recover Stronger." So, energy sector is one of the sector that will contribute on economic recovery. So, how does Germany perceive about our team in Indonesia G20 presidency?
Well, I think with this motto "Recover Together, Recover Stronger," Indonesia is really spot on. And also with the areas that Indonesia has identified for the presidency: digital transformation, global health architecture, and energy transition. Those are the issues that practically every country is facing, the challenges everybody is facing, is struggling with. And I think all these challenges also require change processes in all the countries. And of course, change processes can be more successfully managed if they are managed together, as the motto says. So I think that's really spot on and delivers a lot of value added. Of course, we also have to be realistic when it comes to cooperation. When it comes to cooperation with Russia, because after the war of invasion Russia is doing in Ukraine, there can also be no business as usual, including in multilateral fora like this.
So how do you see so far about the contribution of energy sector in economic recovery when we back to our first question and also we refer to our team in Indonesia G20 presidency, Ambassador?
Yeah, I think there has to be both. In the G20, countries have to agree on certain, for instance, ambitions and targets, because G20 countries are responsible for 80% of carbon emissions. So this is obviously the set of countries to look at when we want to make a global impact. And at the same time, every country has to make their contributions in their own sphere of responsibility where they can. So in Germany, we are working very hard on this transition. The energy crisis we are facing at the moment due to Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine is giving us additional momentum to speed up this process and to do what we had already decided before, phasing out of fossil fuels very quickly in energy, but also in the sectors of transport and building, where it's more difficult, but still very much needed. And I'm very happy to note that Indonesia is also ambitious and working on where Indonesia can also reduce its own carbon footprint.
Yes, we are struggling our global, one of the most important global partnership between both countries, like the energy sector. So, Ambassador, there was a bilateral meeting between our President Joko Widodo and Chancellor Olaf Scholz on the sideline G7 summit in Elmau. Was that a sign that his attendance for the G20 summit that will be held in Bali by this November 2022 in person?
Actually, here I can only refer to what he said in his press conference or press remarks in the framework of the G7 meeting and summit. And I guess I would have to read that off it because it was a bit lengthy. So to paraphrase that, yes. As far as the G20 are concerned, there was a high degree of agreement in all talks on the importance of preserving the unity of the G20. That's why, from today's perspective, the decision of the countries gathered here would be to go there. Today's perspective means the perspective of end of June this year. And the continued having fruitful exchanges is, of course, of great importance. In this regard, the meetings with non-G7 partners we had invited were also very, very important. Now Indonesia holds the G20 presidency. Next year it will be India. Those are two big, important friends and nations with whom we cooperate closely. That's why it is important for us to give things a good drive, if I may put it that way. That's what we will look after then.
We are looking forward for the fruitful discussion also and for his attendance in the G20 summit in November. We hope so. Yes, we really hope that one. And Ambassador, that's all our interview about Indonesia G20 presidency for Road to G20 with CN Indonesia. Dankeschön.
Terima kasih banyak.